We always look at the different sports documentaries that have been done through Nesson and ABC and different channels. I'd like to make a request out there for any U.S. network to think about doing a chronology of all the great stories of the Boston Bruins players of the 1970s. There are many. It can cross over with the Bobby Orr era, can go into the Ray Bourque era. But this guy is so interesting from a hockey fan standpoint. It has to be talked about to believed. Do you know that was a Boston Bruins prospect that ended up eventually being one of the youngest player head coaches in AHL history to win a Calder Cup? Do you know this guy was probably one of the most highly regarded prospects of the Peterborough Petes? And did you also know this guy was probably one of the cleanest players in minor and major pro history? And in 63 games in AHL, he never took a penalty. Not one. So I'm going to talk about this guy. I know in Boston is probably a little bit known, but not too well known outside of his hometown of Peterborough. Of course, we're going to be talking about the great Doug Gibson. Now, Douglas John Gibson, born September 28, 53, in the beautiful Ontario community of Peterborough, was selected in 1973 by the Boston Bruins of the NHL and the LA Sharks. Now, the Sharks took him 34th overall in 73, while the Bruins took him 36th overall. Now, this was on the backs of some of the best seasons in Peterborough Pete's history. In 1971, his first campaign, he had 70 points in a regular season, including 27 goals. 72, he led the team to the Memorial Cup playoffs, 99 points in a regular season, including 51 goals, and 29 points in the OHA playoffs, and 6 points in the Memorial Cup playoffs. 73 with the Petes, he broke 50 goals again, 52 goals and 62 assists for 114 points, and 22 points in the OHA playoffs. Now, what was kind of unique, ladies and gentlemen, we're seeing a trend going on. He was taking very few penalties. In the regular season for Peterborough over the 3 seasons, he was averaging 12 minutes in penalties. In the playoffs, despite the fact he took 14 minutes in the 72 season playoffs, he was averaging no more than maybe 5 minutes of penalties in these playoff runs. Now, in 74, he was sent to the Braves affiliate in the AHL, Boston Braves, put up 82 points, but didn't have enough time to play 2 games with Boston that year, and it was part of their Stanley Cup final playoff run when he played 1 game. Now, in 1975, he played the full season in Rochester, put up some dynamite numbers, 116 points in 75 games. Now, 76, after 31 points in Rochester in 17 games, he played the majority of the season in Boston, 7 goals, 18 assists, 25 points, with a +8 with no minutes and penalties. Now, this is unheard of because Boston was an aggressive team. They were had some great success against Montreal. Rookie campaign, 25 points, just tremendous. Now, he was eventually waived by Boston after a 97-point season for Rochester, the AHL, in 77. Then he eventually found his way to the Capitals, where he had 2 goals and 1 assist for 3 points in 78, but again, no minutes and penalties. Now, over the next 3 seasons, this is where it became quite bizarre, ladies and gentlemen. He became a mainstay in Hershey in 78 and 79. In 79-80, he was offered to be player coach. The team didn't do that well in the regular season, but they had enough momentum to win the playoff title in the AHL, and he put up some dynamite numbers in the playoffs, 21 points in 16 games, including 12 goals. Now, for the remainder of his career, he played in Europe, including the Bundesliga for SC Risarasi, was scoring 25, 20, and 14 goals over 3 seasons. Then he played in Via Feldkirch of the Austrian League, where he put up 39 points in 20 games. But I don't know if the statistic's correct. I've seen numbers. He took 137 minutes in penalties in 20 games. Now, I don't know if this is correct, or it might be a typo, but that's the stats that I've been researched and been given. Now, final NHL totals: 9 goals, 19 assists for 28 points, 63 games, 1 game in the playoffs. No penalty minutes. AHL, 450 points in 411 games, 179 goals, 104 minutes in penalties, and in the playoffs some terrific numbers, 48 points in 40 games, including 22 goals. In the Bundesliga, more than a point a game pace, and some strong playoff numbers as well. Now, because of these major contributions as a player coach, as a European pro, he worked as an amateur scout for the Islanders for a while, and also a pro scout for the Montreal Canadiens. So here's we have, ladies and gentlemen, 26, 27 years of age, already the AHL champion, already part of a Stanley Cup Finals team in Boston in '74. Put up some of the biggest numbers in minor pro of his era in Rochester. Great AHL star. What a tremendous career over a little bit over a decade. Like I said, he was a winner wherever he went. The '74 team came within 2 games of winning the Stanley Cup that he was a part of. That's the year they had a lot of prospect. But I think Doug Gibson has to be recognized for not only coming from one of the best major junior franchises in Ontario history, not only playing for one of the best NHL franchises in history, and also playing for a very respected teams in Rochester and Hershey of the AHL, and again winning the Calder Cup in 1980 as a player coach. Again, one of the youngest at 26, ladies and gentlemen. What an outstanding thing to say. By the age of 27, you played for Stanley Cup finalists. You played, at Hershey, Rochester. You've won a Calder Cup. I mean, no wonder he became an amateur scout. He could, from what I heard from my contacts within the media, he was a very, very good developmental scout, basically encouraging young players to seek out their goals and stuff. But I mean, what a tremendous career. Just because you don't make it as a big player in the NHL doesn't mean you can't make it in hockey. And Mr. Gibson is an example of that. And we salute him today. And it's our Monday tip of the hat to the guy that achieved a lot, and that more people should know about it, because he deserves all the respect in the world from us in the media, because, 26 years old. He's raising a title, and he's a champion on the ice and behind the bench. What a tremendous thing to say. Anyway, have a good evening. If you like what we're doing here with a Vintage Podcast, give us a like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget, keep your stick in the ice. Have a good evening. Bye.